Texas boxing scene is here with the victorious Sean Brewer, who just scored a first-round knockout last Friday in California and Ontario in the DoubleTree. Congratulations, champ. What do you think of your performance?
Man, I loved it. I see the progression, my composure and my mindset in there. I just see it growing. Me being able to look at myself in there, like when I get out the ring, is me being composed and controlled and settled. Like I know I'm making progress.
And I want to talk about it. Was supposed to be, for you guys that saw, it streamed on the Thompson boxing app. It was supposed to be the opening bout, at least the opening bout of what was televised, and then it was moved. There's cancellations, and then it became the main event. What was that like? Does that play in your psyche? Does it change your approach to the fight at all? That you went from the opening bout to that now I'm in the main event, like my name's on the poster. Like, does that?
Yeah. A little bit. I mean, the objective was the same. The goal was the same. When they told me I was gonna be the main event, it almost triggered like that moment of like, oh shoot, I'm about to, I got a headline. I'm about to headline. But then when I settled down and let it ease in, I was like, okay, and I accepted that. It made it like more fun for me, more another level for me.
And you certainly delivered. Now, you took a step up in competition. They wanted to test you. They wanted to see, what would you do when you had someone really push back. I want to get to your other one because you had an upset win too. But they gave you a tough Mexican fighter because they wanted him to give you work. And then you knock him out in the first round.
Yep.
Is that exactly what you wanted? Or did you kind of want, did you want someone to test you a little more? Did you want someone to really put up resistance?
So I'm testing myself every day in the gym, but with that test being under the spotlight and, on a professional bout, it's another level. But I looked at his resume. I did a background check on him. I seen he fought Stephen Fulton, Joshua Greer, Gary Russell, and a couple other people. I seen he was 9-13, but that doesn't mean that he was 9 wins with 8 knockouts. So every fight, any fight, you still have to take it serious, which is the way I move about things. I take every fight serious. But the objective was the same. Like Bones, he told me, just take my time. If I see the shot, if it's there, take it. But other than that, just go with the flow. Don't try too hard. It was my first scheduled 6-round fight for me as a professional. So. But we got him out in the first. So
you got him out in the first. This was your second fight on the Thompson's card that was streamed, and both fights now have ended in a first-round knockout.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna fight all your fights here in the DoubleTree in Ontario. Is that going to be your new home? Because you knock everyone out in the first round there.
Yeah, it's possible, man. They're a great platform, man. I love Thompson boxing. They always, I did a background check on them as well. They had many fighters come out of there that's fought on bigger stages as far as, PBC, Top Rank, any of that. But they're right next door in California, and they put on great shows. They take care of the fighters and everything flows smoothly. So since I, with them.
Now, like I said, the knockout was spectacular. You dropped him with a body shot, which watching it at home, I thought, okay, that's the end of the fight. Describe the body shot, and did you think he was going to get up after you landed it? Because at home we thought he ain't getting up from that.
I thought he wasn't going to get up from that first body shot because I felt it like in my hand, like my punch go through, like literally through him, and I caught him coming in, and he kind of stumbled back. So I was like, okay, that's when I seen it. I took the moment and I capitalized and dropped the right hand right to the body. And man, when I heard it back on camera, when I watched the film, I was like, oh, that was loud. And he was down. He went down, but he got back up. So I'm like, okay, he's tough. He got some heart. And then after the last 2 body shots, he didn't see it. He didn't expect it. So that's the one that really put him out.
You did the smart thing. So many times younger fighters, when they have someone hurt from a body shot, dropping from a body shot, when they get up, they see they're hurt and they start headhunting. Yeah. Stay down to the body. And you stayed down to the body. The guy's hurt to the body. It's tempting to go headhunting, but you've hurt him to the body. Stay downstairs. And I want to talk to you about that, right? Because you didn't start in boxing until you were 16.
Yeah.
So where does that ring IQ and that kind of ring generalship come from? I haven't only been in the sport 6-7 years.
Yeah, so I caught on pretty fast. I started boxing. It's crazy because some 8-year-olds inspired me to start boxing. I seen them sparring. They was looking better than me fighting. So I was like, I got to learn how to do that. And it went from learning to sparring and then to competing. And you know, down in Texas, they fight every weekend. So when I started, I was fighting every weekend. And then my first 2 years of competing as an amateur, I got ranked in the top 10 in the US. And when I did that, I was like, okay. But man, down there in Texas, there's a lot of Hispanics. So, you know, I'm competing against a lot of Hispanics, and I got to learn how to, you know, work on the inside, work the body and all that. So.
I talked to fighters from other parts of the country who came to Texas to train. You know, other people from like, you know, the East Coast, Philadelphia, New York. It's a speed game and hit and move and circle. And in Texas, you're banging on the inside. Your kind of natural athleticism and your power and kind of your build, your length, right, gives you an advantage on the outside. Yeah. How much more dangerous does it make that you can bang on the inside in close range too? Like, how much more dangerous does that make you?
Being able to do it all makes you, you know, more dangerous. I could stay long, keep you out, and then, you know, if I come across a fighter that think I'm ineligible of fighting on the inside, I definitely can, you know. But all my power is at the end, and I have power on the inside. So I like both of them, to be honest.
Which is, you know, you're starting to really raise eyebrows and really get on people's radar. Back in February, I guess it was, you fought on Thompson card, same place, and you scored a knockout in a fight where you were kind of the B side, right? You were in with one of their undefeated fighters, Zarate. He was 3-0, right? 3-0.
I think he was 2-0 or 3.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the guy who they were thinking was going to win the fight. And then walk us through that fight. Tell us what happened in that one, because that was cold.
So with that one in February, man, that was my first, I say, big test. You know, being a B-side fighter and being in the locker room with B-side fighters that's already accepting the fate of losing. I'm like, this is not me. Like, no, you know. But and that the whole build up, the whole camp to the fight, I just, man, I pushed myself so hard. I was sparring with Angelo Leo, another tough amateur. I can't remember his name, but I was just getting work, just pushing myself. And then come night of the fight, I really felt it, because, you know, it's their people, it's their backyard. When I was coming out, it was even little kids, like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, you know, booing. I'm like, oh, okay. that added fuel to the flame, and, you know, that all came out in that first round when I really found that shot.
So, like I said, two big cards. I mean, not major, you know, pay-per-views, but two big cards that people have seen streaming. 2 first-round knockouts. Really got people buzzing, right? Like I tweeted out something about the way you know, the performance. Dougie Fisher was like, that kid's special. Thompson boxing said there's something special about that kid. Rich Murata said there's something special about that kid. So it's like when you get a first-round pick. Okay, we got a first-round pick, he's good. But then there's like special first-round picks where we can't wait to see what the future holds for this kid, right? That's kind of the way people are viewing you, right? And you haven't been in the sport that long, given your late start. Is it weird, like, that people are like, have all these expectations of you now, that people are starting to really tout your name as the best 126 and 122 pounders out there? Like, this is someone now who we have really high expectations from.
Yeah, it definitely you know, boosts my confidence and my urge to be better and better and better. But I still remain the same. You know, I accept it, because, you know, I'm still human just like anybody else, you know. But I'm no better than nobody else is. You know, the way I move about things, I treat you the same. But with everybody, with all the love, support, you know, the praise, it just pushes me to go even harder, man.
So you seem to be on your way. How quick? Like I said, you're 23, which is real young, but you already have. Let's talk about your power first, right? Like, that's kind of what defines you, right? Like, you can do a lot of things, but it's the power at the end of the day. Did you know when you started boxing at 16? Did they kind of tell you, kid, you got extra special power? Like, you got freakish power? Did you know that right away?
Yeah, I've heard it here and there. Like, you know, of course, as I started out, I was learning the basics and the techniques and all that stuff. And as I started to get that down more and more, you know, with my straight punches, people really start to feel it and see it and hear it. And and with them telling me that, and, you know, doing all my study, watching footage and practicing over and over, you know, it just built up. Like, my power is really there at the end of my punches, and I really have that in me. So
You see a lot of knockouts at your stage of the career at 22 and 26, but you don't see the one punch knockouts like that you're delivering, right? Like when you hit someone, it's like an Aaron Judge home run. I don't know if you get a baseball fan, but it's like it's a no doubter, right? It's not like third deck. That's kind of like what your power is. When it lands, it's a no doubter. Um, Obviously that's a huge benefit, but how do you stay sharp and develop your skills and not just rely on your power? Like, what have you done? What have you and Bones worked on to not? Because Bones could crack too. I don't know if you got to follow
yeah,
Bones' career, but he could hit too.
yeah, we got.
You got the right trend. So how do you not fall in the traps of just trying to land one big shot? And how do you have you focused and sharpen the rest of your skills?
And just staying calm and staying relaxed. Like being that it's boring doing, one punch over and over and over. But once you get it, it's like making a muscle memory, So once you get it down, there won't be no issues, and then you can move along the way. But that's the main thing. Like if you see when in both knockouts, you have to stay calm, stay composed, and as the fight is going to go on, you never know what's going to happen. So you don't want to get out that energy of okay, let me rush in, and then jitter. You want to remain in that calm, relaxed state that you are, So just be relaxed and calm.
And you've shown that so far. Like I said, you're just 4-0, but you've already moved up to 6 rounds. I'm sure Thompson's going to want to move you up to 8 and then 10 and then 12. And is there 126 is a loaded division, 122 is a loaded division. First, which one do you feel more comfortable at, and which one do you think you're going to step up the level of competition? Like, where do you see yourself? 22
at both. I walk around about 130, so I'm right there. It's not hard for me to cut down. I'm very disciplined. So when it comes to losing weight and, cutting weight is not a big issue for me. But 122 is where I'll be at for sure.
So are there any names, like you said, you got Stephen Fulton there. You had Figueroa who just moved up. You got a lot of good names at 22. Is there anyone you kind of got your eye on? Like, okay, another year or two, I'm going to be ready for that guy?
One guy that he's 118. One guy that I always watch. He might not even be 118, maybe 115, 118. But I always watch and study I'llAlways. He's just sharp.
You guys have both guys. That would end in a knockout, one way or the other, right? You fighting I'llAlways. Is that good? We're not going to the cards on that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'llAlways at 118, but he's talked about going up to 122.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, you were born and raised in Milwaukee. Then you moved to Austin. Now you're out in Vegas. How did you meet with Bones Adams, and how did that connection start?
So I actually met with Bones. This was what year? I think it was the end of 2015 or 2016. I came out here for a Boxing Hall of Fame event, just to be in that atmosphere. I got to see Roberto Duran, Roy Jones for the first time, and all those people. And Bones was there. And I didn't know who he was, but my coach was explaining to me my cousin, not my cousin, but he was explaining to me who he was. Okay. And then we got to talking and was, connecting, and he was real genuine. The first time we met, the very first time we met, he invited us to his house and he showed us his gym and everything. And then after that moment, I was coming back and forth out here for training and like amateur matches and stuff like that. And we would always come to the gym. And then that next step, we was like, okay, I'm ready to go pro. And he told me, okay, a good idea would be for you to move here. And then I took that next step, and it's been up ever since.
So you turned pro back in 2021, right? So is that when you moved out to Vegas?
I actually moved out here the end of 2019.
And then the pandemic hit, and then okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. But Bones Adams is becoming, one of boxing's great trainers. He's got a great gym now. What's it like working with Bones, and how much has he improved you in that, just this couple of years?
It's great with us getting to know each other, even better, and to see what's to come, and you could grow. Like we see my potential growth like so much more now, with me calming down and relaxing and getting just the basic techniques down and doing what he's asking for. But being at his gym, and you never know who's going to walk in that door. So, with that being said too, I always stay in shape, stay ready, because you never know who's watching, who's going to come watch, or who wants to come spar, anything like that. So it's great. It's great.
So I wanted to ask you, you kind of been all over the place now. Like I said, born in Milwaukee, raised in Austin, then now you're in Vegas.
Yeah.
When you become a world champion, are you going to be a world champion from Austin? Because Austin hasn't had a world champion. Are you going to, they're going to say from Austin, Texas on Brewer, or they're going to say from
Yeah,
Milwaukee?
I definitely represent Austin still, no matter
All
what.
right.
I started boxing. I got a lot of fans and friends still out there too. So
Because they've had some good fighters. They've had some, James Kirkland, most notably, Casey Ramos, Cortez Colvin. They've had a bunch of good fighters, but no one gotten to the top of the mountaintop. So
yeah,
what would that be like to be the first world champion from Austin, Texas?
be an honor. It'd be an honor. They're definitely behind me, supporting me. So it's only right to represent Texas. Yeah.
When you started boxing at 16, I know you dream in your head of getting to this level, but did you really at that time think that in such a short time, 6 years or so, that you could get this far this quickly?
I honestly, when I first started, I wasn't even looking at it like that. I've always been a smart kid in school and everything, but it's just a passion that just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just went with the flow of the journey, having fun. I'm still having fun, so now I'm here. And I don't look too far into the future, but I just enjoy the present, and just go with the flow. I see what's to come, but focus.
In just 4 fights, you've garnered a lot of attention and a lot of expectations. Do you know when you're going to be back in the ring? When we might be able to see you again?
More than I want to shoot for another one. Before the year is up. Most likely it'll probably be in December sometime. But yeah, once the new year hit, then the ball will definitely be rolling. The snowball effect. So it'll be a lot of action next year for sure.
Is there a time frame in mind, like, okay, I'm 4-0 now, finish the year 5-0, fight 4 or 5 times more, and then I'm 9-10-0.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be ready to fight? Like we said, Stephen, the top names at 122, the world champions and top 10 guys.
I always whenever I train and whenever I spar, I always put myself in that category of A-list fighters, to keep up and stay up to that standard. But honestly, I say the end of 2023, the end of 2023 or 2024, I'll definitely be there. Because once you hit 10-0, that's when you really know you hit that next level platform taking that step up.
It seems like you took I don't want to say it's not a fight, because your second pro fight, you fought an undefeated prospect who was supposed to be here. You knocked him out in the first round. So, between who would you say was a better fighter, right? Zarate or your last opponent? Like who was, or did you just get him out so quick you couldn't really tell?
That's a good question. I'd say, because both of them were tough. Both of them came to fight at the end of the day. Honestly, I'd probably say Zarate.
That was it. Did they say, when you destroyed their prospect in the first round, did they say anything to you, or like what was their reaction when you did that to their
they still gave me my respect and my honor at the end of it. It was a big shocker to everybody. I just seen all of their fans. They were real supportive, but at the end of the day, I still got love and support after it. From him as well. He gave me my respect. So I was like, okay.
And he's got a fight coming up too, so Zarate will be back. But again, it's been a short ride, but it's been a pleasure watching your career. The one thing I got to ask you, well, two things I want to ask you. Gusto, what is it? Where does the nickname come from?
A lot of people ask me. So my dad, he wrestled in high school, and they call him Gusto. Well, Gus for short. And I've always followed up with him on that. And I'm the set. His name is Sean, so I'm the second. I'm Sean Brewer the second. And man, I just always been underneath him as far as my character and everything. And he would explain to me what Gusto stands for, and he said another meaning for it is artistic execution. So that gave me a deeper purpose, as far as my style and everything. And I just build off of that and go with it. I got Gusto as like crescendo or ascendo, anything, like with so
now it's even morphing. Like, it's a cool nickname now. When you explain it, it's an even cooler nickname.
Yeah.
So Gusto, Sean Brewer. Oh, and the other thing, told me off air that you're a big Milwaukee Bucks fan.
Yeah.
When is Chris Middleton coming back, and can the Bucks kind of win without him because they fell short last year when he got hurt?
No, when he got hurt, I was on the board. I was like, I'm still rooting for him. I still think he can pull it through. But man, this year they should definitely, be on that roller coaster up and get another. So,
as long as you have, Freak and then good role players around him, you're always going to have a chance because
100%.
He's the Freak, right? I mean, there's nothing else like him. Gusto Sean Brewer, be back hopefully by the end of the year, undefeated 122, 126 pounder. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Sean Brewer _2 and Facebook at Sean Brewer II.
I appreciate your time, Chan. It was an honor and a privilege, and I'll see you in your next fight.
Yes, indeed.
All right. God bless, champ.
All righty.